lovelies of the internets, and welcome to Pathfinder War for the Crown Crownfall, the first book and first session of a new campaign run by me, your ever lovely host and GM, Pie Guy. Let us waste no time, and immediately jump into the world of Galarian. So, we begin our scene in the capital of Kaldor, known as Opara, as visitors flock to the city of Empire in the days leading up to the Grand Day of Exaltation. The populace of the city doubles during this time, making Opara larger than any other inner sea region save Absalom. The self-importance of the already prideful Taldan people swells in equal measure. Street vendors sell traditional Taldan foods, anglebobs, jubilee pie, yonder tarts, and more, including regional delicacies from separated provinces such as Andoran mince and Chelish raven cake. Family banners and provincial flags drape the sides of most buildings, with merchants hawking heraldry ranging from replica banners of the old armies of exploration to wooden swords and handheld Taldan flags for children. Taverns offer themed drinks and food, with varying bars adopting well-known nobles from the long history of the Empire as their mascot or self-declared patron. Alongside all the pomp and circumstance filling Opara is a noteworthy moment in history. The Imperial Senate is poised to hold a historic vote to end... Oh boy, I don't know how to pronounce this word. Oh, it's already started. Primogeniture. That's not right.
I think that sounds right.
Primogeniture.
Primogeniture. The potential end of the millennia standing law of succession is the talk of the town. Streets and taverns are abuzz with conversations. Some wish to see the law thrown down to pave a way for Princess Eutropia to ascend the throne, while hardliners, especially elder nobles, believe the vote to be another wound in the great history of the Empire, allowing not only the rabble-rousing Eutropia to inherit family power, but every ill-deserving woman. Regardless of the outcome, both sides of the debate agree that life will go on, and despite the serious ramifications of, Pepper, please say the word.
Primogeniture.
Potential end, the streets of Opara hold no signs of unrest during the jubilant celebrations of the Grand Day of Exaltation. However, before we enter the streets of Opara and find our characters amidst political intrigue and words of the mouth, we go back in time to but a week before the hustle and bustle. We go back as folks just begin to make their way into the crown jewel of Taldor, enough noise to cover the tracks of one Lady Martella Lothheed planning a gathering. Each of you have found your way to one Villa Benedetta via personal invitation. One by one, each of you arrive, perhaps together, perhaps separately, at the entrance to a rather esteemed-looking limestone building. As you stand in front of an iron gate, waiting to be let in amongst other players. Aravid, could you kindly introduce both yourself and your character and describe to us who we see standing in front of the gate?
What you would see in front of the gate is a 6'2" young man with black hair almost to his shoulders and black smoky eyes. Fairer skin though. Aravid seems to have a stern look on him, though he also is not conversing with anyone else at the moment. Aravid is a noble of Opara. But he is also fond of more delicate and precise combat and acrobatics. Aravid is a swashbuckler, and that's all for now.
Okay, well, lovely. It's good to meet you, Aravid. Standing next to you is another one of the figures who've seemingly been invited. As you're all standing around, it seems to have the same aura of, no one person is here for a random reason. But standing next to you, um, Mia Bennett, would you please tell us who we're seeing and who you are?
Hi, my name's Mackenzie, and I'm playing Mia Bennett. Mia is, she is she's a tall woman at about 5'10". She's got kind of a more bigger build to her versus a thinner frame, and strawberry brown hair, chocolate brown eyes, the young age of 25, and she seems to be clutching something in her hands, not really hiding it, but it's I don't really know how to describe it other than giving a moderate example of it. Looks like a handheld microphone. Her hair is curled. She's got the top part of her hair pulled back. She's in very nice looking garments. She definitely looks like she is somebody there. Somebody to be there to do a job, and by first glance, you would think she's probably the entertainment of the evening. And you're right. Her passion is singing. It's something she loves to do, and it's something she's been doing ever since she was a kid. But alongside with being a actually rather talented singer, she's also a very talented fighter, and she's not a fan of fighting with conventional weapons. So it's not uncommon that you'll see her using her fists, hitting with her elbows, hitting with her knees, kicking, or if situations call for, and many a bar fights, and defending her mother's store and things of that nature have called for it. Table legs, chair legs, whatever items or devices that she can find that she can wield. She is for Pathfinder purposes, she is the brawler class with unarmed fighting.
And of course, as you're standing here amongst others, Mia, you recognize this building. You know what this building is. You know what this personal invitation means. This isn't new to you. But next to you, kind of perhaps standing in a circle, or whether you're all standing in a circle or just waiting around at the front gate, um, will the God of Mischief please introduce themselves and who's standing there?
All right. My name is Zero. I am playing the character Loki Ingram. This is an alias. Loki is a kineticist with a cold focus. Um, as his name suggests, he has a really high bluff, really high diplomacy, and really high knowledge of nobility. Um, he is a disgraced noble who wants to find a way to claw his way back up for his family's namesake. And it seems that his family has drawn the ire of a leader within the military, and he is looking for his father who has gone missing. Dragging uh, alongside with him as a sort of insurance or alibi is the next character.
And that's a perfect segue into going into Hugh Ingram, if you would like to introduce yourself and what we see standing next to Loki.
Hello, my name is Jonathan. Hugh is a bit of an introvert. Really, he would like to just spend most of his time in his workshop tinkering. As implied, he is an alchemist tinkerer subclass. You see, like he's he's sort of in a noble's attire, sort of like a jacket. Not sure how to really describe it. Use Look at the picture and use your imagination to piece things together. On his shoulder, you'll see what seems to be a furry little companion that just seems to be just not content with life. just seems to just look at everyone with a disappointment. Look a little bit closer, and you would realize that it is actually a mechanical familiar. His name is Phil. My character is a senatorial hopeful, and my character hopes to make changes to the way people treat um, familiars that aren't really well considered in the brightest light, such as summoner pets. So that's my person's drive. Other than that, my character would prefer not to really engage in close combat. If anything, he would rather stay in the back and, if need be, toss a few bombs and maybe potions to really up the chaos or, well, create opportunity.
Well, isn't that just lovely? And as introductions to the audience finish, before any of you really have time to introduce yourselves to each other, um, the sound of a gate opening interrupts as what looks to be a front guard of some kind um, welcomes you all to Villa Benedetta and says, "One moment, please. That's not what he says at all. I just need to look at something." He looks at all of you and says, "I am Elaine. Is it a man or is it a girl?"
Man.
Okay. I am Elaine Tilstra. Welcome you all to Villa Benedetta. Please follow me. And begins walking through a garden trail and past wooden doors as you follow, through to an open and bustling building filled with various people drinking, enjoying their time. As this man directs you through the home and its beautiful sights, consisting of an open rooftop to the skies, and a garden filled with gorgeous flowers, and a waterfall with a marble statue amidst its waters. Through the building, you walk up some stairs into a back room, a small and quaint library where you see a figure perhaps some of you know, one Lady Martell Lothheed, and next to them, if you, our final player, would like to introduce themselves and what we see.
Sure. Hi, I am Pepper, and I'm playing Lucia Benedetta, and I'm a brand new Pathfinder player. Yay. Lucia looks to be about 45-ish, early middle age, but it's a little bit hard to tell. You might guess younger, you might guess older, because she's just got one of those kind of faces where her skin is gorgeous, but she's got wrinkles around her eyes and beautiful skin, but you can maybe see a few age patches starting to show on her hands. She is about 5'6". She's got very deep blue, almost black eyes, and she's got very thick brown hair that looks like it's probably quite long, but it's gathered stylishly up on top of her head right now. And you can see that there are lots and lots of silver threads, including a silver streak that begins at her left temple, and it's very strong and very bright, and you can't quite tell because her hair is gathered up, but it looks like maybe it goes the entire length of her hair. She's giving you sort of a warm, serene smile. She is dressed in whatever the current fashion is, but probably just a little bit more modest, a little less flashy than whatever the current style is. Um, and she's got a few pieces of very nice jewelry on, and she welcomes you to her house.
And for the folks who want a visual, here is the Lady Martella Lothheed standing next to this person. And as you all walk in, you notice both of them are standing around a circle of chairs, each with a letter placed neatly in front of them on top of an oval-shaped table. Each of these letters, as you look closely, has each of your individual names written on them. And as you know, one by one, you enter the room and take your seats. Aravid, as you enter the room, Lady Martella Lothid kind of gives you a knowing nod.
And I in return.
And as you all sit down, she begins to explain how you've all seemed to be folks who are tired of the old guard, who wish to see new rule brought to Opara. And as you open your individual letters, inside you find a set of goals and missions to accomplish during the Exaltation Gala, which I have introduced to our players before the session started. Alongside these missions is a promise of 150 gold pieces as a reward for completing what you've been tasked with, should you so accept. If you are to accept, Martella also informs you that you'll be welcome to a 30 gold line of credit at her favorite tailor shop known as Thread Rare. This would be enough to acquire Courtier's outfit at no cost to yourself, or if you wished, you could provide the remaining 45 gold for a noble's outfit for the coming Senate festivities. In either case, Martella would also arrange a loan of enough high-quality costume jewelry to complete each outfit for the event. And as she kind of finishes telling you all this, and you're reading your letters, I would like to just once again go back in that same order. Aravid, what is your, as you take in this letter and the words, what is your initial reaction to all of this?
There is a sly smile on his face, and without looking up, once there is a point of silence, says, "You're too kind. Frankly, I wouldn't even need the reward, but I do appreciate it."
She kind of gives you a nod and responds with, I'm not one to not reward those who work alongside me.
So very generous.
We go to the next chair over. How's Mia's reaction to all of this and response?
I guess the question that I would have is, did Lucia know about this, and did Lucia tell Mia that this is what she would be involved with?
That is entirely up to Lucia as a character. I will say, for background purposes, Lady Martella Lothid would have come to you in private, Lucia, to arrange this meeting for everyone.
Right. Lucia probably knows that Mia was going to be involved and maybe has kind of a broad idea of what Lady Martella wants from Mia, but doesn't know a whole lot about it, and she would not have told Mia that she knew that she was going to be involved.
There would definitely be an exchange of glances that Mia would do before she would just kind of very gingerly fold up the paper and put it in her pocket and give just a nod and say, "It seems like a worthy cause, so I would be happy to help."
That is wonderful to hear, my dear. She says back to you as we go to the next chairs over, to the Ingrams, starting with Loki. What's your reaction?
Loki looks at the letter and kind of just nods a little bit, folds it up, and puts it back on the table. Sounds reasonable. First step of many. Does Loki know the rough political battle lines of like who's for and against this princess?
I am going to say, rather than a roll, but going off of your backstory, because of how out of the light you have been, I'm going to say currently no.
Okay. I can figure things out, and I'm sure things will pan out just fine.
She gives you a nod as she looks over to Hugh. What is your response to this letter?
Character thinks him. Oh well, I guess just a quick question. The person in the letter, is this person like well known as far as like accolades and achievements that many people would know him?
Let me pull that up for you. Yes, he would be.
I suppose Hugh would be looking at the letter. I'm like, oh, this has gone pretty interesting. Yeah, fair enough.
Wonderful. And then lastly, she looks over to you, Lucia.
Lucia smiles and then looks around the table and says, "It would probably not surprise any of you, since this meeting is taking place in my house, that I have agreed to assist Lady Martella with her goals."
And
That is, sorry.
Nope, you go.
That is a reasonable conclusion. I'm glad you verified.
Of course.
And as time kind of goes by, as you're all discussing, or not, your individual things and discussing the grand day of exaltation, eventually your meeting concludes. You have acquired your respective missions, and as we spend the days leading up to this grand day of exaltation, if any of you would like to do research on the event goers or listening in on rumors that spread as more people gather, you may do so, and you will just tell me which you would like to do, and in turn, I will give you a roll to make.
Well, if I may, during this time, perhaps listen to some of the backstage workers or curious event goers on where inventory may be kept. Specific inventories, but rare items nonetheless.
Okay. So, you will give me, as you kind of go around and listen in, give me a knowledge. Let's see. Knowledge nobility is what this is saying.
I have that, which is a +7. So, beautiful first roll. 26.
Wow, that is indeed a beautiful first roll.
That's how we start this game. Hell yeah.
You, as you know, the days lead up, you perhaps get into if you find your way into some talks of storage, and perhaps you overhear some nobles speaking, but you do overhear talks of some high quality items and trophies lining the entry gallery of the Senate building, known as the Arcade of Triumphs. It is the very first building, or the very first room that folks have to pass through to reach the greater Senate building.
Arcade of Triumphs.
Indeed.
Okay.
And as you're gathering that intelligence, we'll just go down the line again. Mia Bennett, is there anything you would like to hear? If you want to gather any intelligence on any specific people, or get onto the street and listen to rumors.
I do. I would like to do some social exploration, trying to find out hobbies, particular points of interest, topics that the person likes to discuss. Is there anything that they're super proud of? Things of that nature. And more importantly, are they a fan of music?
Alrighty. Okay. Let's see if I can't give you anything on that. Let's see.
Oh, and I thought of one more thing to add to that too.
Okay.
I would like to know how this individual particularly acts at parties. Do they wander off? Are they super social? Are they always surrounded by guards? Like, what type of party person are they? Are they the social butterfly? Are they the drunk? Like, that type of stuff.
Okay, give me a diplomacy.
Sure, I'm great at that.
You spend your time trying to gain information and listen in, but you don't gain much.
Am I in
word of this person?
I was going to ask if I'm in the same town that this person hails from.
It's a good question. If you're in the same town, like currently?
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you that with a 6, that yes, currently this person is in the city.
Can I make, you can tell me no, but can I make an argument for knowledge local?
No.
Okay.
But as you are not really learning much, we'll go down the line once again. Loki, anything you would like to learn? Gather.
Yeah. I'm kind of curious as to what the goals of everyone here are. Because the last thing we would want is to stumble over each other and sabotage one another.
Well, now that's certainly information that the others have to give up. I can't ask you to roll for anything.
Yeah, that's fair. I guess I'll go about what I would want to do just for my thing, but then I would want to reach out to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess for my thing, I would like to see what public knowledge there is and what publications there have been regarding who supports primogeniture and who is against it.
Okay. Give me a knowledge nobility.
I can do that. I can't do that, evidently.
You don't get much.
Okay.
You know the basis of what you know is definitely more of the elder senators support it. It's like an old versus young type of thing.
Yep.
But even some of the younger senators aren't exactly for it or against it. It's kind of like that thing where I don't want the elder senators to hate me. Yeah.
I see. Like they want to be part of the inclusive club
Yeah.
or the exclusive club. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
And how about Hugh? Anything you'd like to possibly learn?
Let's see.
You can go onto the streets and listen in on rumors while people flock to Apara. You can gather information on certain people.
I suppose I'll look around, try to see if there's been any rumors regarding military as far as, well, what's their stance with like the current rule with the princess's name is. But, yeah, regarding the current ruler.
The current ruler. Okay, roll me a... Ooh, boy. Roll me a knowledge nobility. This is really funny. So the information, and this is straight up what it says to give you. With a 10, the information of the current ruler is, well, you know that Grand Prince Stavian III is the Emperor of Taldor.
All right.
And that's it. And as you learn of that, we go to our last person. Anything you'd like to learn?
So this is specifically info gathering as opposed to setting anything up or attempting to set anything up?
Yes, this is specifically a time for pre-event info gathering. So,
Okay.
same thing, you can go out onto the streets and learn information.
Yep. Two things.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, Lucia would like to know, and you don't have to give me names at the moment, I guess. Lucia would like to know who's being brought in to cater.
Mm.
And this is probably, possibly like a couple different groups, because there might be, people who are being brought in particular for dealing with drinks. There's going to be people who, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Particularly when it comes to like the baked goods. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so that's one thing. And the second thing is, the second thing is if, hang on, looking at my mission. I'm trying to think how to phrase this. She wants to know what the attitude is about Lady Martella amongst the kind of older, more conservative nobility. Like, how is Lady Martella's standing right now? Does she have influence? Are people annoyed by her? That kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so give me a same thing. DC, not DC. I'm not telling you the DC. Give me a knowledge nobility. With a 14, some of the information you would know regarding Lady Martella, and perhaps her standing is, you know that she's the black sheep of her family. She's the result of an extramarital alliance with a Qadiran diplomat. You know that another thing being she lacks her family's gift for magic, which adds to their resentment. So you may not know her standing with the Senate, but you know her standing with her family is not the greatest, which could lead to poor standing with certain senators.
Got it. Okay.
And as you all spend your week,
I don't get my other info.
you do not.
Okay. Good to know.
It's kind of a one and done thing.
Sure.
Which I probably should have said, but hey, whatever. As you all finish your time, it's kind of more a you're spending this week learning this one thing is probably what I should have said at the beginning. You're taking the time to research, you know what I mean?
Rats. Okay. Yeah.
And as you finish your research, the fateful day of the Exaltation Gala arrives. The city is filled to the brim with people, carriages arriving. Each of you are told to meet Lady Martella at a local and not far away cafe within the city. As each of you arrive, long golden beams of the setting sun dance through the cafe's smoky interior, highlighting breads, cheeses, and wine bottles behind the only counter. You see Martella sipping casually from a steaming mug, dressed in an elegant but reserved gown, at least by Talden standards. As a hand-sized brass cricket, you notice, buzzes quietly on the tabletop beside her. "I'm so pleased you could join me this evening," she begins. Please order whatever you like. The fig jam is particularly lovely here. Feel free to speak candidly. I've taken measures to ensure our privacy." And she invites each of you to sit down.
I will accept the invitation.
Okay.
I take
We'll do
the
the
spot
same.
next to Lucia.
All right. How about Aravid?
Yes, I will take the seat.
Okay. She gives you a few minutes to order any food or drink that you all would like. And assuming you all... well, no, not assuming anything, because we didn't really discuss it, but now that you're all here ordering food and drink in a more quote-unquote casual setting, if any of you wish, now would be the time to actually introduce your characters to each other more properly.
Okay. So, it seems we have aligned goals. I don't suppose anyone would be opposed to introducing ourselves to each other. We don't have to be friends, but I like to know who's on my side.
I don't
Well,
see anything
I
wrong with being
am,
friends.
My name is Aravid of the Malasoka family. You may know me from there. My friends call me Rivi, so it's Aravid to all of you.
Fair enough, Aravid. My name is Loki Ingram, or so we should be aware. I am attempting to recover my family's reputation, not that of the Ingrams. And I'm going to offer this information with trust in our fair lady here, our fair host, and tell you right now that my name is actually Desmond Belfry, and my father is missing, and I wish to help forward all of our goals.
I understand.
Well, it's nice to meet you both. My name is Mia. Mia Bennett. If you've ever gone shopping for breads or baked goods or anything like that, you've probably visited my mother's shop once or twice, the Bennett Bakery in downtown. I'm not much of a baker myself, but I do like to sing both in the bakery and outside. So you may have passed me. I'm sorry if it disturbed you at all, but it's fun. It's become my pastime. It's my passion. But yeah, I'm Mia.
A pleasure, Mia.
Your family owns a bakery?
Yes, mom's been baking ever since I was little. Her food is amazing. You've got to come try it if you haven't.
I think the house's maids have served it once. I don't really visit the capital quite often. In fact, this is the first time I actually left my family's territory. But I think I've tasted your bread before. The servants have recommended it, like if I did come here.
Mia, does your family have any sort of special logo or crest that they would stamp on like packages of bread when they deliver?
That's a good question. I think there would be, and I think it would probably be the letter B and a shield with what looks like a couple of lily pads around it.
Okay, so
and it would be stamped into the bread as well.
Mm-hmm. I would like both Hugh and Mia to roll perceptions, please.
Perception, sure.
Perception.
I see the food in front of me. I don't see anything else.
I don't think my number is okay. I'll just do it manually.
Is your sheet working fine?
Because it's saying it's 2, but I'm trained in it, so it should at least say 5 since my wisdom is 2.
Oh.
Yeah, so some of my numbers don't look correct. I probably have to add that check.
Alright, yeah, I'll probably just type it in and we'll double check. Okay.
Alright, well, with the 6, it's kind of sad that you don't notice it, Mia, but Hugh, you notice the stamp of her family's bakery on this bread and on some of the packages within the cafe itself. And this would be the bread that any of you would order to the table.
I guess as my character sampling, it's like, yep. Just as I remember, or well, just as I like.
Oh, you like this bread? You really should try my mom's bread. It's really good.
Oh, maybe during my off time I'll stop by. Well, you'll have to show me how to get there. I'm not quite too familiar ins and outs around the capital.
Oh yeah, we can totally meet up after this. I'll take you there. You'll get some good food. Ah, it's great, and the people around it are so nice. Don't let them scare you. They're actually really friendly.
It's reassuring.
I will certainly second the recommendation for Mia's mother's wares. She has catered for many for me. She produces exquisite cuisine. I'm pleased to see all of you again. I think you all know who I am already since you have been at my house. But I will say, Hugh, I appreciate the trust. And I would like to offer that if there is anything that I can do to assist any of you with your goals, I would be happy to do so.
And,
I appreciate that gesture, Lady Benedetta, and my apologies, I did not introduce myself properly. My name is Hugh Ingram, grandson of Odin Ingram. Pleasure to be meeting.
and as
Please,
you
my
all,
dear, it's very sweet of you, but just call me Lucia. I'm not a lady.
as you all introduce yourselves, Lady Martella Lothheed follows this introduction by presenting each of you with a badge. What looks to be a Senate aid badge. She explains how these badges once belonged to the staff of the long-dead Senator Voritas, whose family line was involved in the Senate for nearly 1,000 years before dying out about a century ago. She tells you these pins mark the wearer as an aide to the associated senator, that these are magical items which will aid in the speaking and messaging between each other at distances. And she further notes that senators and other politicians of note traditionally hand out these Senate aid badges of extinct or exiled families to guests they invite to Senate events, identifying them at a glance as guests rather than sitting senators or staff. And she does begin to say that the guards have become more wary of visitors wearing the badges of extinct lines, given the ease at which a rabble-rouser or assassin could abuse the system, but your group should be able to get in just fine. She shows you these. The Senate aid badge. She also puts a few more items on the table and says, along with these badges, perhaps you can find aid with these items. I have taken notice in your resourcefulness during the week leading up to today. I figured these items could be of value. And she hands you 2 vials of this bubbling, transparent liquid. And she hands you 2 vials of liquid blade. She also puts down a little baggie filled with 8 smoke pellets. She hands you a single dose of what looks to be an elixir of some kind with flowers all across it, as you are given 1 dose of soul stimulant. And lastly, she gives you 2 vials of what looks to be this powdery chalk dust or like powdered graphite, as she hands you 2 vials of Dust of Illusion. This is in total. So 2 vials of liquid blade, 8 smoke pellets, a single dose of soul stimulant, and 2 vials of Dust of Illusion, to use however you see fit.
Does anyone have a particular choice that they would like to make of these items?
Good question. Would any of us know the effects of soul stimulant, or is that?
You would all be told the effects of each item and what they do. Yes, so you can read the card and.
There it is.
Mia would pipe up hearing the description of the soul stimulant and say, I'm a little confused. This is stuff particularly designed for the monstrosities. Why this? I'm asking that to the lady.
She responds with, it doesn't hurt to be prepared for a multitude of encounters when you're in this business.
Noted.
This may not come in handy for the group of you today, but and at what you said about monstrosities, she chuckles and says, this may not aid you today, but no, you will be dealing with a multitude of monstrosities within the Senate.
I believe I can find most use of the smoke pellets. I do not need all of them, but up for consideration.
If I might have a few of them, I'd be appreciative. Perhaps 2 or 3?
I have one. I would like to do a little bit of research on a smoke pellet, actually.
I guess this brings up a good question, and as Desmond said over there, we're all pretty much on the same kind of page of what we're trying to do, but what exactly is everybody trying to do? I mean, if these things are going to be useful, they could be useful to multiple people, so instead of just bickering between us, I do think we should have maybe at least a bit of a conversation about what everybody's doing.
Right. Of course.
As a gesture, I will go first. My task, I guess you could say, is to essentially listen into conversations and learn things. That being said, I don't particularly intend on getting caught while hanging around, but if I do, the Dust of Illusion could be very, very useful in turning me into somebody else while I try to get out. However, it's not a requirement by any means. If somebody has a better use for that, I'm more than willing to give that to them, but that is essentially what I'm supposed to do.
I can see how that would be very useful for you, either in escape or in the listening itself.
I do agree. I won't be handing out all of the information, but I could say to all of you, it would be a help if you could turn a blind eye should certain curios go missing.
You don't need to worry about that. I don't notice I usually zone in or zone out quite often, so yeah. Don't worry about that, buddy.
Good.
If you should be in need of a distraction, I might be able to assist you.
And I don't want to be presumptuous, but we do seem to have a talented musician amongst us.
That
To
is
that,
true.
Mia beams.
She has quite a glorious voice.
Oh, and I can provide distraction, especially if you start to get a little bit too loud. Let me know. I can probably sing louder.
That's fair. You'll be off to help everyone else then.
I guess out of game, who was it that needed to listen in on certain conversations?
Mia.
I guess I sort of, I guess that detail sort of catches my attention. So Mia, you said that you need to listen in. You need to just learn things, or do you need to be able to report certain information?
Let me open up my mission. Hold on just a second. I need to read it and double check.
Well, while you checked out, I realized I forgot to change the music to something more, like, spy-like while you guys are sitting at the cafe. You know, this is your cafe music. You're not just at a bustling, music-filled house anymore. You need cafe music.
Cafe music.
Spy cafe music.
Mm-hmm.
Dun, 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 dun.
Mia would kind of shrug a little bit, kind of picking up whatever food that she had ordered, and she says, well, it's more along the lines of listening in and observing any unusual behavior, or listening into snippets of conversation, and, you know, seeing if he's being erratic or odd in any sort of fashion. So, not really so much trying to deduce exactly what's being said, but kind of get a general gist. Though I suppose exact words wouldn't hurt either.
I'm just asking because I guess I I grab my little bird off my shoulder. Then Hugh presses something on behind the bird and starts replaying what was just said a few seconds ago. So, my little companion,
amazing.
Little companion Phil. I usually keep him around just so that, just in the event I forget to do something, I'm able to, remember with this little guy. However, seems like you might need a little bit of help. So, as a gesture of faith, I'm going to let you use this little fella to be on your little task.
Oh my gosh, he's so cute. And Mia just kind of like loses her mind for a little bit, just playing with the little mechanical thing, and she's gone for a little while.
And
All right,
I suppose since everyone's sort of been telling what their particular objective has been, mine is not of the weightier side. I'm just simply to remind a certain popular general of a certain favor that needs to be remembered. That's nothing too, underhanded. It's just sort of a reminder.
As you say that, Hugh, you notice that Lady Martella takes a sip of her tea and just kind of gives you a nod.
Well, I will certainly share that I'm going to need to do something in the kitchen without being discovered. I feel fairly confident about being able to do so, but I will definitely be missing from the gala for a little while.
Sounds like another need for a distraction.
Possibly, yes. I'm hoping that the kitchen will be busy enough that it won't be too much of a problem, but I will call on some of you if I feel the need. Of course, if you don't wish to assist, that's fine.
I see why you wanted to use the Dust of Illusion.
Oh no,
Lucia.
I don't. I was just hoping for a few of the smoke pellets.
Oh, I see. My
Of
mistake.
course.
Well, since everyone has been reasonably forthcoming, I will also possibly need distraction, Miss Mia. I will need to create some questionable pieces of evidence to undercut the trust of some senators. And then out of character, anyone who would like a list or a reminder, I've put up a small 5-sentence description of what everyone is doing at the gala.
Thank you.
So, forgive me if I'm mistaken, but it seems that Hugh and Mia have the easiest to accomplish tasks. I believe Aravid, Lucia, and I have more daunting tasks. So once your conversation with the general is had, Hugh, it seems like you can play support for the rest of us, while the rest of us can actually accomplish Mia's task alongside ours.
I will say that I may need some help hiding items. Not everything I am in search for is particularly small. And whether it be on our persons or in a hiding spot, I just want to make sure I have a place available.
I believe
Right.
myself to be fairly adept at hiding items on my person. So if I might be of
Excellent.
assistance, I would be happy to.
Perhaps we can procure a cart from the kitchen.
Ah, an excellent idea. I think there is something I could do about that, yes. I plan to be in disguise in the kitchen as a servant, so there would probably not be much difficulty for me to rejoin the party, some sort of serving tray or the like. A wheeled cart, you understand?
Yes.
Should we come up with some sort of signal so that we can identify you? Perhaps blinking twice.
She'll have the badge. Pretty sure she can just tell us what cart she's pushing or who she's near.
Okay, yeah, that works.
Out of character, are servants of that kind of class or occupation, do they generally wear the badges, or is it more like people who would be more the guests of the party?
The badges are to represent the guests from the servants.
Okay. So Lucia points to a fairly plain gold bracelet that she has around her wrist and says, "Look for this."
And we should be able to identify you at a glance.
You should be able to, yes.
Very well. It seems like we have a general plan. Lady Martella, is there any details that you can give us regarding the inside of the gala? Perhaps some plans or blueprints or anything of the sort could be of assistance to us.
She says, that is one of the few things I could not provide with you. Overall, tonight does seem to promise to be a historic evening, but an evening of work nonetheless. In this sort of work that you're all embarking on, the line that defines success and failure is drawn by the people you know. You have your own tasks to accomplish, as each of you have shared, but I'm counting on you, once again, as each of you have shared, to support one another and ensure success and discretion. If you need assistance, kindly ask for it, as I myself will be attending. If your assistance is required, give it. But if I am to be blunt, I would like just once in my adult life to simply enjoy a gala I attend, rather than scamper about with clandestine busy work. If you all complete your work without need of me to clean anything up, I will happily double my promised fee. I trust your activities won't occupy your entire evening, so by all means enjoy the party and make friends. This is an excellent opportunity for you to begin your own political ambitions, but do be discreet. And she takes another sip of her tea and says, time is ticking, however, and I will perhaps once again meet you all within the walls of the Senate building. And she stands up from her chair and begins walking away, leaving you all to finish your meals and drink and discuss further if you so wish.
Yeah, Mia would, as the lady's leaving, Mia would stand up and bid her goodbye, and then Mia would grab the back of her own chair and like drag it over to sit near Hugh, and she would turn it around and sit basically in between, as uncomfortably close as she can between Hugh and whoever is next to him on either side, or if he's at the end of the table, she'd take the end, but she like wedges herself in there and she goes, so, you're trying to remind someone of a debt that's owed. Who is that someone?
Oh, I suppose it's not someone I really need to secret. Let me see. What was this name again? Nicholas? Nicholas O'Hara. I believe that was his name. Would any of you guys have any? Well, I guess since I'm saying it now. Would you guys have any information or general knowledge on the Baron?
What was the name again? Sorry.
Let me go ahead and it's the name.
Thank you.
If this guy is a military guy, would I have spent time around him along with my father?
Going off of your backstory and what is written about the character, I think it would be unlikely, and it's the same for your question, Aravid. It would also be unlikely. I will give you the fact that he is in the circle of senators and politicians, so you guys would know of him, but he is not necessarily a senator himself. He is a man of military, and he is a that is basically it. He does not he's not, doing politics and being a senator isn't his main thing. He's military man through and through.
Would he perchance have been anyone I would have invited to one of my parties?
No.
Is he a local that possibly have shopped at my mom's bakery?
Also no.
Dang it.
I will say, yeah, servants, but I will say it is likely for you, Lucia, that perhaps you have sent invitations. It's likely these invitations were maybe less than politely declined.
Gotcha. That tells me a lot.
If this guy works, the guy that he mentions, if he rings any sort of bell for military stuff, could I put two and two together that there is a chance that Hugh's target and my target may be together at some point?
It is a possibility.
Okay. Do I know that the guy's in the military? I don't want to meta.
Yours or Hughes?
Hughes, when he says the name.
Give me, a, let's see here. Where is it? What am I looking for? Give me a knowledge nobility, which you were great at last time.
So I don't have a rank in that, and I don't have a check mark in that. Is that a Dieter rule, or is that an all-in-all rule that I can't roll it?
I'm going to delegate to the Master Pathfinder.
Dieter?
Okay, well, for skills with an asterisk, by Raw, they are trained only, so you can only use them if you have at least one rank in it.
Okay, I do not have a rank in that, so I can't use
Okay,
that
so
one. I
then-
have a rank in local, but that's all I have.
Well, then, unless Hugh, blurts out, "This is a military man," you do not.
Okay. Well, I
guess just trying to recall what I said earlier. When Beretta was here, I mentioned that I need to remind a certain general of a favor that needs to, just to remind a certain general of a favor. Well, I'm not sure if,
It's kind of
If-
implied.
It's possible Mia, as the PC, overheard this, but I think the player behind Mia was too busy geeking out over a little bird that could repeat words.
okay.
I honestly don't think she would have caught that. I think she would have been too excited at your robot bird, unless your robot bird spits that out, but I doubt that it would.
If you press the replay button, but I don't know how long. Turned off the recording feature by now.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, how long can this record? Like, could I have it going all night, and we can basically make people speed talk into the area that we want? Should I turn it off and turn it on again? If I turn it on and then turn it off and then turn it back on, will it erase the stuff that it had before? Like, how does this work?
Let's see. Unfortunately, this device can only record up to an hour conversation at its current version. I'm trying to making it able to record more, but yeah. So once you're near your target, I might recommend you press the record button at that point.
I will. This is so cool. And how big is it roughly? Is it like the size of my hand? Like, if you were to compare it to the size of an object, like, how big is it?
It's classified as tiny, so I'm not sure what's the general size of a tiny object.
Well, I know to compare it to what it is, like a small bluebird would be considered tiny.
Oh, okay. Perfect. I can do up my hair, and I can have him hidden in there, and then if I just press the little button somewhere in my hair, like, he could probably just hang out in there and record stuff. Oh, that's great. Yeah, I'm trying to go after. He's one of the military commanders. Steratos Maximal Patheris? I just butchered that entire thing. I will put it in chat.
Oh wait, Maxlar Pytharius?
High
Yes, that guy.
Strategos. Maxlar Pytharis. That is Strategos.
Wait,
Strategos.
what do you have to do with him?
Oh, he's the guy I gotta listen into and make sure that he doesn't, like, say or do anything funny or weird or irrational or crazy.
Okay. I think that's the man behind my father and my family, for that matter. He's the one behind their disappearance, I suspect.
one of Lucia's eyebrows just shoots up.
Oh. Well, that makes this awkward, because I'm not going into it for a whole revenge scheme, so are you going to be okay if I, don't do that?
I can play the long con, but you just need to listen to Strategos Pytharius' conversations.
I mean, for the most part, yeah. Watch over, make sure he doesn't have any unusual behavior, listen to snippets of the conversation, and just, pass it back to our employer if there's any unusual actions.
Okay. Out of character, does Loki think this guy would recognize him if he saw him?
Oh boy. That's an interesting question. That is a very interesting question. And I'm gonna ask you to roll something. What are you gonna roll? I'm not sure yet. I think you're gonna roll a... You can either give me a... This is interesting. Okay, this is an interesting twist on using a skill for roll. I'm going to ask you to roll a stealth.
I like it. Was it just stealth? You said you were gonna give one or two, or are we just gonna stick with stealth?
Just stealth.
All right, here's stealth. Hey.
You've been hidden away for a bit of time. You haven't really shown your face in politics since things went pretty horrible for you. And from the word that you've heard of High Strategos Maxillar Pytharis and the idea that he may be behind your family's disappearance, it's likely that if he knew about you, it's likely you would have been a part of the disappearance by now.
Understood.
So take that as your answer. I think that's a pretty giving answer.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Hi. Question.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
These badges that we have,
Yes.
are they basically like the message spell?
So if you were to compare them to a spell, if you look at the item itself, it's more like sending.
Okay, but so the badge doesn't all of a sudden start talking. It's a voice in the head.
It is telepathic.
Perfect.
Oh, thank God.
Yes.
Same
Gosh,
thought,
you-
same wavelength.
No, you guys are Aravids trying to snatch some items, and someone else is in the middle of the Senate ball, and it just loudly booming.
Yes.
Guys, I've stolen 3 of the items. Should I steal more?
If it's for people that are supposed to help, you could also picture it as those walkie-talkies they wear at Costco. So,
But yes, it is all telepathic. No one's going to be turned out from and discovered because of these badges.
That'd be so funny, because if they heard that voice coming from the middle of the ballroom, everyone would look in that direction, and Arvid would provide his own distraction.
That's true. I have 2 questions about the badges. One, is it 10 uses per badge, or is it 10 uses for all of us as a group?
It is per badge.
Okay, and then my second question relating to the badge is, if we use it, can we talk to one particular person, or do we talk to the entire group as a whole?
As the description of the badge goes, you may target either a specific badge or broadcast to all badge wearers.
Oh, perfect. Awesome, I missed that. Thank you.
And you also know the approximate direction and distance to all wearers of the badges.
Oh.
Yeah.
God, this is a 9th level spell, guys. Jesus.
Starting you guys off strong.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go.
So
I think so.
Lucia looks around the table and she sort of sighs. And she says, as this is definitely a potential problem, this is not something I necessarily like to have generally known, but all of you should certainly know it. I would caution you that if you have anything to say to me, you need to make sure that I can see your face, unless you can send messages as this badge does. I've been deaf for a number of years.
Oh,
So, if you can, please bear that in mind. It does get easier to remember as time goes on.
I'll keep that in mind.
you'll
Thank
be in
you.
for quite a surprise when you finally hear our voices.
Well, that most likely won't ever happen, but I'm sure it would be.
I'll make sure to use the badge at least once with you.
Just don't be like super loud into the badge, because it's probably going to be really startling at first until she gets used to it.
I suppose that's true of all of us.
Yeah, I haven't had people talk in my brain before. This is going to be real new.
I imagine with this conversation, are you all prepared to make way? As you're all sitting at the cafe, you do notice not necessarily hordes of people, but the next step underneath hordes of people begin filing down the cafe street and towards the Senate building as time draws near.
Oh yeah.
I believe Lady Martella said we would have outfits ready and like accenting pieces of jewelry.
I imagine during the week that you would spend researching, you guys would have enough time to pick up any courtier's outfits and jewelry. So if you wanted to, you guys can add that to your inventory, and you could have easily showed up to this meeting in those outfits and jewelry.
All right. Just didn't want to assume.
Yes.
Okay, sweet.
Does anybody mind if I take one of the liquid blades, as well as 2 smoke pellets?
Go ahead.
I
arguments
much
here.
prefer my rapier.
All right.
If
I mean, we should probably, be distributing all of these things, whether we end up being the person to use them or not.
I will take 3 smoke pellets.
Okay.
Anyone else for some smoke pellets?
No, I'm good on my end. If you guys need to freeze up more, well, more of the pellets for you guys, then go for it.
I think I'll be fine without a pellet, but if no one's against it, I would very much see a benefit in taking the Dust of Illusion for myself, in case things
Please
go
do.
wrong.
Please do. Aravid, perhaps you would like to hang on to the entire bag of the smoke pellets, just in case, and I'll just take 2.
I would appreciate that, yes. So I'll bump that up to 6.
Mm-hmm.
Just for general knowledge, are guests... I presume they are, but are guests disarmed?
So, with the gala and the rules of the Senate, which you would be told about, Breastplates, ceremonial armor, and light armor may be worn inside the Senate building. Potions, scrolls, spell component pouches, and wands are also permitted inside. Only light and one-handed weapons are allowed inside the building. Animals are generally not permitted within excepting familiars and service animals. And if an animal is larger than an average member of the guard, they are not permitted within the building under any circumstances. And while guests, you are free to roam the Senate building as invited.
Excellent. I will have my rapier as a side piece. It is certainly flashy and complements my noble's outfit.
Wonderful. And as you all begin making your way to the Senate building, eventually you arrive. However, you notice, and eventually yourselves get shuffled into an expansive line dedicated to senatorial aides, minor noble attendants, and various others deemed as people useful to people of import. The line progresses ponderously, and it is a very long line. Each of you can tell that it will likely take several hours to finally reach the front. During this time, you notice dozens of overeager merchants attempt to sell you a variety of wares, including Talden flags and easily recognizable phony pieces of historic memorabilia. Some bemoan the weight, touting their respective level of importance. The entire affair is quite tiresome. However, eventually, each of you, your group, make it about halfway through the line when you notice a female guard adorned in the normal Senate armor approach you and, like the TSA, grab you out of line and say, "You've been chosen for a random inspection. If you would follow me to the base of the steps to the Senate building," and begin walking you all if you do not fight back.
Delightful.
No, I don't.
Express entrance.
Oh, I can play.
Okay. As this woman brings you to the steps of the building, she says, "This will just be a quick inspection to make sure you're not bringing any dangers into the building." And as she's kind of going over each of you, she whispers to you, Aravid, and eventually whispers it to everyone else. She says, she first of all, just in general, she offers her name as she's inspecting you. She tells you, "I am guard Kathan Zolar." And then, as she's inspecting and patting each of you down, she whispers to each of you, "I believe we have a common friend within the Senate building." And quickly glancing over each of you, if you have certain items in your possession that may not be allowed in the Senate, she gives you tips on how to properly conceal your equipment. And with that, she ushers you to the head of the line. If any of you have simply volatile equipment, you will get a +2 circumstance bonus on sleight of hand checks to hide such things for the remainder of the night.
When you say volatile,
yes, the description gives alchemist bombs or poison.
Okay.
And she lets you all know that you have a common friend amongst each other, and welcomes you into the Senate building of Taldor. As you walk up the stairs and enter the building, you take in the sights and sounds. And that is where we will end for today.
We end in complete darkness because I see nothing.
Oh, there we go.
I've given you all vision.
No, no, you haven't.
I have. I activated it.
No, I'm not lying. It's black. It's so dark. This is a dark party.
Ha 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 ha. Ha ha ha.
It's one of those masquerade parties.
I don't have control
Let
of my
me
token.
reset
That's
it.
why.
That's
I-
weird.
Yeah, I do not have control of my token.
I dragged
look
all
at
your
my little
tokens
mini
out
health
here
bar.
ages ago. Drag your token out real quick, and I'll fix this before we end.
Did you get it?
Vision.
Ah, look, I can see my token. That is all I can see.
I am still blind.
This map must be broken then, but Aravid, can you see things?
Oh yeah, I can.
Then everyone else must be broken. We will figure this out before next session.
Okay.
No surprise that I am broken.
Hey, we've got missions to take on, guys. This is the start of the campaign. Woo! We're finally here.
Good stuff.
Very excited to begin next session in the Senate.
Senate party.
In the
Where'd
Senate.
everyone else go?
In the Senate. We're
It's
all
just
in
me
darkness.
and Mia.
Mia doesn't even know she's there. She's now CC. She's blind. Anyway.
I've already used my smoke pellet.
Badumchi. This is great. I can't wait to play with all of you. The character dynamics are working really well. You guys are going to be great people to play alongside, and I'm excited to play under Pie's first Pathfinder campaign.
Yeah.
So for the DDG viewers at home, everybody say goodbye to YouTube.
Bye.
Goodbye,
Bye,
YouTube.
Bye, YouTube. Happy dungeon delving, and Pie.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You better believe I'm gonna say it. Everyone, as always, stay sweet and good pie.